welcome to another video. Now, one of the bugbears of being a Commodore 64 owner back in the 80s was it couldn't do 3D games like Night Lord and what have you. It just didn't have the processor power, or so they told us. So for that reason, whilst the Spectrum, BBC and Amstrad all got versions of these sort of pseudo 3D games, the C64 was completely overlooked, and we were given our own Ultimate games, which, yeah, that's for another day. However, through the wonders of bedroom coders who still work on these machines, a few people have actually recreated these games for the C64. So what I've done, just for a bit of laugh, is I've actually shown you both the Commodore 64 version and the Spectrum version, just to kind of see how they run. So you can see there, the left hand side, this is Alien 8. Left hand side is the Commodore 64. On the right hand side is the Spectrum. I mean, graphically, they look absolutely identical. I don't think you could tell them apart. Now I'm using a mister for recording this, which it plays at accurate speed. So the C64 one that you're seeing, that is the way it would play on original hardware. I think the Spectrum one still does edge it as far as speed goes. I mean, if you look there, there's two moving platforms, and the game is going pretty slow. I'm not a fan of these games. In fact, I would say I actually dislike them. I just find them really difficult to play. It's very difficult to actually see where you're meant to be. I think if the game had been like Ant Attack and given you the option to like rotate the view, I think is it Spin Dizzy? I'm sure that gave you that option. But yeah, you're playing the game blindfolded at some point. I mean, I can't get anywhere in these games. So yeah, I think the Spectrum one's probably slightly faster. Now this one, this is a surprise. Attic Attack is a Spectrum game that I think is fantastic. There wasn't many games back in the day that I was envious of my mate who had the Spectrum. I had the C64, but Attic Attack was one of them. There's just something, I don't know what it is, it's hard to actually say what it is. There's something about the game. Graphics are beautiful, it's got that real quintessential specky kind of little beeps and farts and whatever it is. It's a really lovely looking game. However, somebody only went and released it on the C64 about maybe 2-3 years ago, and what a job they've made. I mean, look at the graphics. Look at the graphics. They are something else. And I hate to say it, but you know, the C64 version of this is going to take it for me. It just looks so nice. I mean, the Spectrum one's an absolute legend of a game, but the C64 one just looks so much better. Whilst it should. I mean, it's coming out, you know, it's coming out 30, 40 years on from the Spectrum one. But yeah, an absolute delightful conversion. Now, one of the things I love about this game is I think the life meter is absolutely delightful. It's a chicken that you can see the meat getting eaten, and when it eventually becomes bones, you die. Still got to say though, the Spectrum version takes it for me, sound-wise. You know. Both of them are extremely fast to play, they're completely frantic, and that's what makes this game so fun. So there you go, there's Attic Attack. Whilst I think the Spectrum one's an absolute classic game, I do think the C64 one has got the better version. Now, yeah, next one, Gunfright. This was at the point where I think most people, including Spectrum owners, felt the ultimate play of the game were starting to really milk this engine. Every game was just the same. Now, I'm looking, again, comparing the Spectrum one to the C64. I think the Spectrum one is considerably faster at moving. You can see the speed. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the C64, don't get me wrong. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. But what's interesting, it just goes to show that the C64 could have had these games released. You know, yeah, they might not have been quite as fast or as playable as the Spectrum one, but this goes to show that they were perfectly playable, you know, they really were. You can see the difference in brightness though. The C64 is always, it's got quite a muted colour palette. The Spectrum on the other hand has always got really, really bright, kind of bright colours. But again, I think if you took a screenshot of both of these, apart from the sort of luminosity or brightness or whatever it is, gamma, contrast, I don't know what you call it, you would be hard pushed to actually tell the difference. I mean, the C64, it very rarely had games that used that kind of high resolution, but you know, when it's done properly like it is here, it looks really, really good. Absolutely no idea what I'm meant to be doing here. I mean, presumably you're trying to capture Buffalo Bill and get money. Like I said, it's because I never had these on the C64. I never played them. My mate used to say, "Would you want to play on the Spectrum?" I wasn't interested. So yeah, that was Gunfright, I think it was called. This one is Pentagram. Now, I wasn't familiar with this one at all. I think this might have been the last version, the last sort of game from Ultimate. I might be talking complete nonsense. Now, I do like the sound effects in the Commodore 64 version, though you can see the C64 one again is a wee bit slower, I think. I mean, they never even attempted to change the sound effects, like the walking sound effects. It's the same sound effect in every single game that they brought out. Yeah, I just find these absolutely impossible. Obviously, when there was no other moving objects on the screen, your character would move pretty quick. But the minute you had other objects, the game would really grind to not so much a standstill, but it would slow down big style. And I do apologise about the complete lack of understanding as to what you're meant to be doing. But yeah, there you go. Right, the last one we're going to look at is Night Lore. This was the first sort of 3D game by Ultimate. Now, rumour has it, excuse me, they actually had finished this game before they finished Underworld. And then they realised that this game was actually so far ahead, technology-wise, that they thought, we can't release this. We need to release Underworld first, and then... Or did they come out about the same time? But yeah, apparently this game was finished before Underworld, and they realised that, you know, this game was so far advanced for the time that it had been commercially not clever to release it. Now, whilst the C64 one is fine, absolutely nothing wrong with it. Again, I think you can see the Spectrum one does play a little bit quicker. But once again, I think you would struggle to know the difference between both of these, you know, from a sort of graphical point of view. Yeah, I detest these games, I really do. I think they're absolutely impossible. You'd need to have the saint, or the patient a saint, to play these things. But to take nothing away from Ultimate, I mean, these graphics were on a different level from anything that we'd seen before. You know, certainly from a sort of a detailed point of view. They really are beautiful looking. So yeah, I mean, if you've got a hankering to play these games, and you really want to play them in the Commodore 64, then fill your boots. I mean, what you could do is play these games using an emulator and just increase the speed a wee bit, and then you can get it playing just as well as the Spectrum one. If I was going to play them, I would probably play the Spectrum version just because they're the originals. But yeah, as far as Attic Attack goes, play the C64 one. Anyway folks, until next time, hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, thank you very much for watching.